there everyone, it's your host, me, Jennifer, and welcome to the very first instalment of Game On, the gaming podcast made by me for you guys. So today, because it's the first one, I thought let's talk about my absolute favourite video game of all time, Skyrim. Now, Skyrim's a massive game, obviously, one of the most popular games currently ever, but it's a massive game. There's loads of aspects that I could talk to you about, so I'm picking one specific aspect, which is something I'm really familiar with, and that is modding the game. Now, modding is a bit of a controversial topic. We're going to be talking about that later on. I'm going to be speaking to one of my friends, David, who doesn't use mods. I'm under the belief that mods are fun and they should be used. Unfortunately, I have used so many mods that my game has crashed, both the original and the special edition game, which came out last year, and I've already wrecked it. But mods just make gameplay so much fun, I can't help but, want to download them. So today I'm going to be talking about some mods that I absolutely recommend if you've never had any before and you want a few things to get the ball rolling. I'm going to be reviewing some of my favourite mods and also recommending some of them. Giving a shout out to one particular mod offer as well, who when researching I noticed he makes all the really good useful mods out there. And yes, also conversation with my friend David, who doesn't use mods, so a perspective of someone who does and someone who doesn't. So let's get the ball rolling with some of the ones that I would say you can't not play Skyrim without these mods, or if you're under the belief that you should play with mods. So the first one is the unofficial Skyrim patch. This is available for the original Skyrim and for Special Edition. There is a version that's only for PC, there is an Xbox One option. I downloaded it from Bethesda. It is available on Nexus if you use that. The mod offer is Arthmore, whose name, like I said, you're going to be hearing a couple more times in the recommended mods. He is an absolute amazing modder. Really recommend looking at his stuff if you want a little bit of help and tips and just making your gameplay a lot more easier. The unofficial Skyrim patch just fixes a few bugs in the game. If you're familiar with any other Bethesda title, then you'll know that they are, oh my god, they are so glitchy. He's made a patch for Fallout 4 as well. I'm sure he's made patches for other Bethesda games because, oh my god, those bugs are such a pain in the backside. So it fixes some simple things like just pathing for NPCs, when they're not walking in the right place. And I've definitely seen NPCs try to walk through walls before, some actually have walked through walls. So it fixes that. Fixes things like clipping issues, clothes. Apparently there was an issue with one of the types of clothing with necklines were, cutting through items. It's fixed meshing, it's fixed text. I'm pretty sure it fixed some forms of dialogue. It recently actually got taken down from Bethesda 2 months ago. It's been re-uploaded since then, but I would just say just now, if you do want to go download this mod, maybe try and get it from Nexus first. It wasn't taken down from there, so at least it's always going to be installed. I don't know if it will get taken down from Bethesda again, hopefully not. And if you're playing on PlayStation 4, I'm really sorry. This isn't the first thing you guys are probably going to be missing out on a lot of the mods, just in general, but you guys aren't going to be getting a lot of the mods from this list today. Same if you're an Xbox One player, not all the mods I will be mentioning today will be available on Xbox One. I'm a PC gamer myself, so that's what I'm more familiar with, and so all the mods I have are all PC available. So if you're a PC gamer like me, then just, knock yourself out and just enjoy it. So something else that I would say, if you're maybe new and you're new to modding, if you maybe already played the game a little bit more, then you might get narked by this, and this might have already happened to you. If not, then this one, it'll save you a lot of bother, and that is No More Dead Merchants. And the mod offer for this is Spocrates, which is an amazing name. I mean, Spocrates, the O is in a zero, but when I saw this name, it just makes me laugh. This is available on PC, but other options are available. It is available to download on Xbox One. Woohoo! And No More Dead Merchants kind of makes a bit more, it kind of says it in the name, changes merchant NPCs so they're only killable by the player. Changes whether they are non-essential characters to essential characters. So essential characters are ones that are kind of important to the actual storylines. Like the Jarls I think are essential before obviously you finish either the Stormcloak or the Imperial storylines. Ulfric and General Tullius are both essential, so it's usually really, really important characters are always essential, and sometimes that switches later on in gameplay. So a lot of the kind of minor characters, so just kind of maybe people who aren't even named, they'll be non-essential. Kind of merchants, people in just towns and cities are generally non-essential, so this changes merchants so they become essential, and this is really handy because I remember on my very first gameplay, guy who runs the shop in Whiterun died. Bellathor died, and that was a big pain in the backside for me because I couldn't sell anything in Whiterun, and that's where my primary residence was, and I was like, oh no, what do I do now? I'm gonna have to go all the way to another city if I want to sell things. This also means, so if you've got Dawnguard installed, you'll know this is a pain in the backside as well because there's vampire attacks and then, they die. Or sometimes if there's dragon attacks, then they'll die. I mean, basically because NPCs are stupid and they don't run inside. There is another mod for this called Run for Your Lives. As soon as a dragon attacks, then they will run inside, which is dead handy. There's also another mod that stops the vampires attacking your town if you do have Dawnguard installed, which I recommend because it's a pain, especially when vampires attack and you're in a completely different city. So vampire attacks Riften, you're in Morthal, you're not going to be able to do anything about it. And then you just get a letter from a courier saying, oh, your friends died, here's some money. Like, oh, great, thanks, couldn't save them, but Another mod that I would absolutely recommend is Open Cities. It's also created by Arthur, who's, like I said, his name is going to come up quite a few times. Open Cities, apparently this is a feature in earlier Elder Scroll games, which I have not played. I need to, but I'm broke, so if you want to give me money so I can pay for these, then please do that. Apparently in those games you could just straight up walk into a city, there would be no loading screen, so this is a really good mod, especially if you are doing either the Imperial or the Stormcloak line, it doesn't matter. There is the Battle of Whiterun, and this actually just helps that flow a bit better because you can just walk straight in. It's another good thing because you can ride your horse straight into the city, which I always find is really handy because before you have to park your horse outside of the city, and sometimes your horse will wander away and you can't leave the city and your horse is gone. And you're like, great, I spent all that money and now my horse has just vanished. I mean, it will reappear again when you fast travel, but at the same time, it's like, I want my horse. So this is really handy. It saves so much loading as well. The mod offer does recommend that when you do install it, you wait 24 hours in game time for this to actually start working. And even then, I have noticed a couple of times that it will still sometimes glitch and you still need to have a loading screen. Some of the bigger cities, I think Morthal, have had issues with that because it's massive compared to a lot of the other cities. Another one that I would recommend if you're just new to kind of new add-in mods is the Point Away. It's another one that's by Arthur, who's, I'm calling him Mod Author of the Day now. This just adds additional signposts to when you're walking around. If you don't have fast travel installed, this one can be quite handy because, you can wander around just like, I'm completely lost, and then there's additional signposts added. Signs will also have arrows for every city rather than just, a few selected ones that are close by, which is dead handy. It means I've discovered easier ways to get to Riften, because before I was going this really long way and now I found a really short way to get there. It just makes things a little bit quicker. So another one that I'd recommend if you're maybe new to mods is Better Horses. The mod offer for this, I don't know if I can pronounce it, is Polybrun. This one is another one that's PC only. The last two that I mentioned by Arthur are also PC only, but if Arthur is anything like I know, then there's probably Xbox One equivalents for them out there. Better Horses just makes horses a bit stronger. They can run longer, run faster. It makes them essential so they can't die, which is also another one that's really handy. If you spend all that money on a horse, then you maybe fall or something. Because some of the actual dynamics for the way the horses run, sometimes they just decide to start flying and then they'll fall and then your horse will die and then you've wasted all that money and then you'll probably die as well and go back to your last save. So this stops that one from happening, although they will still do the flying thing, which isn't great. They also run away from fighting because I will quite often just get off my horse if I'm going to go into a fight. It stops them from trying to get involved in the fight and trying to attack as well, because you can potentially lose your horse and that kind of thing. But because this also makes them essential and they can't die, then they won't die anyway. But protect the horses. It's not compatible with other horse mods, unfortunately, so I wanted another one that was armour for horses, which looks so cool, but unfortunately they don't work together, which is a pain in the backside because it looks so pretty. It's so pretty. Another one I recommend if you're maybe new is the Stones of Baranzaya quest markers. Another one is PC only, and the mod author is Teodime. Fortunate thing when you're reading out mod authors' names is, if you've never heard someone else pronounce them, then you might get a little bit confused at how they pronounce that. But this is a really simple one, so if you know the Stones of Baranzaya quest, is a unique, 25 of these stones, and they're hidden in different locations all over Skyrim, and it's a pain in the backside finding them, especially given it you can't drop them, but they are actually weighed. So you say you've found maybe about 15 of these things and you've still got 10 more to find and you have no idea where they are, then you've just got to accept the fact that these are taking up a large amount of room in your bag. So this will make it a lot quicker. You can just straight up just find them all and then get rid of all the stones and get the crown, and I think then you give it to the Thieves Guild, which is rubbish because, you know, you've done all that work and you don't even get it, keep it. You don't even get to wear it. So it's a bit of a pointless quest, but it just gets it out of the road because you end up collecting these things as you go along anyway. Now we're going to listen to me talking to my friend David, who doesn't use mods because he's weird. Well, technically it's because he can't actually get them to work in his computer, which is something that I should have listened to before I, broke my game. So let's just listen to that now, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes, and I'll tell you about some of the absolute best mods that I have downloaded and you should download today. So I am here with my friend David, who is also an avid Skyrim player. Say hello, David.
Hello, David.
Everyone does that.
It's a classic.
It is! So you are not pro mods like I am, are you?
I'm for them, but I can't play them because my laptop is terrible.
Yeah,
so technically I'm against because I don't play them.
You're just better than everyone else can.
Pretty much.
Same. If I can't have them, no one can have them.
Exactly. I'm a toddler. My toys. If I can't have them, no one can have them.
So first of all, what console do you play on?
I have played an Xbox 360 and PC.
Ah, okay. I'm myself a PC gamer. Don't know even how to work the controls on a Xbox.
I've just became a PC gamer.
Oh.
Since moving out of my house, since I don't have a TV anymore, so I was like, I'll have to focus on laptop games.
So even then, like when you were on Xbox, you were quite limited to the amount of mods that you would have been able to install anyway.
You can't install any mods, it's only add-ons. There's no mods unless you hack your Xbox. But with PC, you can do whatever you want. Because
PC is mystical and magical. That means you're missing out on like quite a different gaming experience when it comes to Skyrim. So it's like just vanilla on its own, because as soon as I basically got it, I modded it to death.
Slow, laggy, buggy. Not as interesting as when you see online gamers that have My Little Ponies as dragons, or Thomas the Tank Engine coming blasting down towards you with fire.
So it is still buggy even without the mods. It is Bethesda's fault.
It's a huge game, give it a break.
True, yeah.
Just go about killing innocents, it's fantastic.
So if you were to have mods, would you, focus along the lines of more the kind of lore friendly ones, or like everything's focused on enhancing the gameplay, or would you want to just go for some of the random ones like wandering about and like with Batman's costume slaying flying Thomas the Tank Engines, having Sound of Silence play when you die? I actually have that mod, it's so good.
Can I add option C and do a bit of both?
Yeah, I suppose you can have a bit of both. I do that myself. I've got, clothing from The Witcher, which is technically not lore friendly, but kind of fits in. And then I've got my stuff that's just like all my redux of all the graphics. What would you recommend for, new Skyrim players? People who have just picked up the game. What would you say do first? Besides obviously the main quest, like any quests you'd recommend, places to visit, NPCs to talk to?
I'd recommend you don't kill any chickens. That's priority number one. I know it sounds stupid, but if you kill them, the whole town turns on you. Literally everyone wants you dead.
I made that mistake. Because
of a chicken.
Yep.
A single chicken. Even if it's outside the city bounds, don't trust it.
Don't kill a chicken?
Don't kill a chicken.
Any quests you recommend?
Anything that involves controlling dragons, they were fun.
Yeah, that one was quite fun. That one, that came with the Dragonborn DLC, I think.
Yes, it did.
That was good.
Sitting right in the back of a dragon.
I quite like the one where you get the Sanguine Rose, is it? Is it the Wabbajack?
Oh, I love that one. You just turn people into chickens.
Yeah. The Sanguine Rose, it's a Night to Remember. It's basically just the Hangover, but you pretty much in the medieval times.
You just go get drunk, which is fantastic.
You marry a hag raven. You're not one of the gamers that's totally like aggressive towards mods, hate them because they ruin the purity of the game. It's not the way Bethesda intended it to be.
Well, here's the thing. You can turn off mods and uninstall them if you don't like them. They're not there forever.
Yeah. Because I get really annoyed at the people just like, oh, you're just cheating at the game. And it's like, no, I'm experiencing a different type of gameplay than you guys are.
Modding doesn't really cheat the game. I don't find that.
It depends what type of mods you download. I mean, there are ones that cheat. I mean, I cheat in Fallout 4 pretty badly, like the unlimited ammo kind of thing.
Oh, Oh, you're talking about those kind of mods? I thought you were just
Yeah.
talking about like generic mods, like
Some are. I mean, some are very.
add more trees, make the sky bluer, like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's the type I use more often on Skyrim. On Fallout, I cheat because I'm lazy, and it's if you don't play it cheating, then I find it quite hard to play.
Turn down difficulty if you're not skill enough. If
If
you're
I'm
not
on like the
pro.
lowest setting, then I'm really not a pro. I've got the lowest setting on both of them actually.
That's brilliant.
I know, I'm just a lazy player.
Such pro play.
I know.
So you know I'm not one of those people that are all like, I hate mods, mods are terrible, mods ruin the game, I want to play it the way the gamer designer made it.
Yeah, that frustrates me, especially with Bethesda games as well, because, I mean, Bethesda have mods on their own website and allow you to upload mods on their own website, so clearly Bethesda intend the game to be modified.
And if they also didn't intend you to add anything to the game, why do they make add-ons?
Exactly.
If there's no point of add-ons, because there's no add-ons, just make more money for them, but if you want to talk about purity, then don't buy add-ons, don't buy mods, just don't.
Yeah.
Just sit and play your little game, don't add anything to it, and just enjoy what's there, and then that's you done. Mods, you can add more storyline, more fun. Skyrim, you can add a Jedi mod, you can run about with a lightsaber.
I know, that's so cool. And like, some of the companion mods are one of my favourite ones, like, no, it's
You
Fallout.
two companions, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
I like the one you can have like a dog and like your person as well. I think like
Oh
a little
yeah,
follower.
yeah,
I
that's
like,
needed. Because some mods are amazing. Like, have you seen like Grand Theft Auto mods, like the Iron Man mod and the Hulk mod? Like, all I know they're all made by the same person, but they're still fantastic. They look like
Yeah.
a game within the game, and it's amazing. Because
really
mods
well.
don't have to be like huge things. It's just be like a simple thing, like you put an image of a backpack on a dog, so that makes sense why they can carry your stuff. They've got backpacks
Yeah.
on them. It's not just a dog, and it can somehow carry like 15 pieces of armor.
Yeah, like posters
Or
are
you
one
can
I like.
armor
in
up
Fallout.
your armor up dogs. That is fantastic. Have you seen them? Like, you can give your dog like pure gold armor or dragon scale
No,
armor.
I'm not saying that, but I need to get that.
It's
I want
fantastic.
that. End of our debate discussion on Skyrim and the mods and our difference in opinions, which are not really different, but kind of similar.
They're similar to an extent.
Yeah, you won't use mods because it will mess your computer up. I don't
Yes,
care, my computer's already messed up.
It will burn my computer's mind. It gets so warm trying to load up Skyrim, and I get worried that it's going to just burst into flames in my lap, and I'm like terrified.
I'm just kind of like accepting my laptop's already screwed, so I may as well just, download even more mod until it crashes, which it has. I can't even load my game up anymore, it's just not loading. This has been David. Well, I'm Jennifer. That's David, who you
Hello.
can't see.
You can't see, but you can hear me.
You can't see me.
But I'm talking to you at the speed of light. Well, not the speed of light, the speed of sound.
Alrighty, welcome back. So that was dead interesting. So first of all, mod that I cannot recommend this mod enough to anyone. It's my absolute favourite mod. This is Inigo. Inigo is a blue Khajiit follower that you can get. The mod author is Smart Blue Cat. Unfortunately, another one that is PC only. It's available on Bethesda's website and it's available on Nexus. This mod is astounding. I mean, you would honestly think that this mod it came with the game. You think it was, he was genuinely fully voiced character for you. He has over 7,000 lines of dialogue. I mean, he's completely fully voiced. The way he works is almost similar to the way the companions are in Fallout 4, and you can actually have a conversation with him and you can ask him how he's feeling. He has like karma that, the way you play the game will affect how he reacts and how he is. He doesn't affect your follower count, so you can have him, you can maybe have, if you still got Lydia, you still travel with her, and he will have conversations with her. He will ask her to move out of the way. He will talk to her. It's amazing how much was put into this one mod. He comes with his own quest, some fairly big quests, but if you do it, then it unlocks more dialogue. I have never managed to trigger it because I'm also quite lazy when I play. He's unfortunately not compatible with other follower mods, so there's one, it will allow your followers to have horses. He's not compatible with that. There is a way I think you can get that to work. I've never managed to figure out myself. He's really skilled in, I think it's one-handed weapons, sneak, and bow and arrows. He's got his own specific bow and arrow. You find him in the Rift in jail, talk to him. It's also implied that he maybe knows you from before, and I think that's developed in the quest, which again I've not unfortunately done because I can't get it to work because I've modded my game too much. That's my fault. He's also pretty much naked when you find him, obviously when you strip down male Skyrim characters, they only have the little loincloth on, so he's only got that. But so you can pick his own whatever armor you want for him, which is great. I love being able to customize characters like that. I mean, you can do it anyway, but like Lydia will only put on like armor that is better than the one she's wearing already. He will literally put on whatever the hell you give him, which is great. Especially if she gets sets. What I like to do is when I get better armor, is just pass it along to my followers, so they get I pass on like my old armor to my followers, so then they will get that. He's brilliant. I honestly cannot recommend it enough. Smart Blue Cat is the name of the mod offer if you want to maybe go check them out. They only have 2 mods, one of which being an ego. Please go download it. It brings so much more to gameplay. He's so funny. I got a couple of pieces of dialogue here for you guys if you will listen. I think he sounds a bit like Antonio Banderas. I don't know what you guys hear what you think.
My thumbs are not quite the same length. I've been practicing. I can defeat almost any lock as long as I have a pick to break. Every time I accidentally snap one, I picture a spider's leg. I'm thinking it's nice you care what I think.
There's technically 2 mods that I have to recommend, but you need to have them together, and that is Frostfall, Hypothermia Camping Survival, and Campfire. The mod author for this is Chesco, and again, these are PC only, which kind of sucks. So I'll say Campfire first, because that's the one you absolutely need. You need Campfire to get Frostfall to work. Campfire allows you to build camps and campfire, so you can build tents, a tanning rack. It's cheaper to use than inns, because you need to pay money for inns. You need to pay money for a house, unless you have a player home, like, mods that just creates one in a random location. But if you're playing in another thing that's like fast travel enabled and your health is really low, you don't have any potions, you can set up a camp, you can sleep, and that will bring your health back up again. I think you can also build things like tanning racks and different things like that. With this, I have to recommend Frostfall that comes with it. Frostfall tracks the weather, the time of day, location, what clothes you're wearing, along with several other factors, and it will determine how cold your character is. And this brings a different level of immersion. I mean, Skyrim it's a cold, harsh climate. And the thing is, there's multiple kind of climates there. I kind of view places like Riften as pretty similar to here in Scotland, where, there's kind of trees, it's kind of mountainous, kind of got the hills and the farmland. It's like, it's kind of a Scandinavian kind of, so it's going to be cold. And then when you go all the way up to like where Dawnstar is, it's going to be freezing. Like the College of Winterhold, it'll be absolutely freezing. I mean, there's like constantly snow, there's ice, you can practically walk from one side to see the other, there's just so much ice. But your character's not affected by that. That makes no sense. So this app makes your character affected by it, which makes so much more sense than, the previous kind of wandering about and being absolutely fine. You can be wandering about in your underwear and you're not cold at all. This time you wander about in your underwear, you die. But you don't really die. What will happen is either your follower will make a fire up for you and you wake up there, or you'll wake up at whatever is the closest inn, and you basically just move along from there. The colder you are, and if you're wet as well, like if you've just been swimming, it will affect your health, it will affect your stamina. I think it can affect your magic as well. It's also affected by what type of clothing you're wearing. I have another mod installed that makes capes and things like hoods, which keeps you a lot warmer in kind of colder climates. So it's definitely, handy to have something like that installed with this. It also just, if you build fires as well, just if you get really, really cold. The mod author does say that it's not supposed to hinder your fun. I've only had one time it's been an issue. I was trying to swim to an island, but because it was up in the north, I kept, freezing and dying. The island itself actually has nothing interesting on it. It's because of another mod I had installed that had like a treasure chest on it, and I was trying to get to it. So normally that probably won't happen. I actually think we were trying to speak to that guy about an Elder Scroll. I don't really do the main storyline, but I know there's one point you have to swim towards a guy, he's got an Elder Scroll or something like that. It's somewhere up north. You'd probably end up freezing then. Just wear sensible clothing. It can also be heat can be affected if you're holding like a torch. Whether you're near a fire or not. If someone casts a flame spell, that'll heat you up. If you drink soup as well, that keeps you warm. It's genuinely such a good mod. It does make it a lot more interesting, adds just a little bit more depth to it. I don't know, I quite like the realism that adds as well. You can like see your breath, and you can see how you can freeze over as well. You can see the snow on your body. It's so good. Another one I got to mention that's one that I think is really super fun is Diverse Dragons. Another one that's unfortunately PC only, which sucks a little bit. This is created by Opus Glass, and adds 28 new dragons, 16 new breath attacks, which are basically shouts that the Dragonborn can't learn, and 19 new abilities for them. The dragons that have been created for this are stunning. If you're wandering about and you're killing the same kind of looting dragons, then it does get boring. It's had things like, I can't remember if blood dragons were in it originally, but there's definitely blood dragons with it, frost dragons. I'm sure the once there was a twin dragon, so like two dragons that were identical attacked at the same time. That was cool. Some of them are, I mean, they're just beautiful. I mean, one of them was like bright red and blue that I ended up killing, and you almost feel bad for killing some of these dragons because they're, the way the mod makes them look, they are stunning. Some of them almost have a more look of Chinese dragons. I love it. It makes me want to go around and kill dragons more, but then I also feel bad about killing them because they just look amazing. I'm like, why can't I befriend these? Why can't we all be friends and love each other? But, you know, it's the way of the game. You need to kill them and absorb their souls. It's just sad. And it makes me sad about Parthenax. I really had to die. So my next mod that I have to mention is, now, excuse my pronunciation of this one because I can't read properly. No, I can read, I just can't pronounce things. So Antenaria. Antenaria is a player home. Another one is PC only. Sorry. The mod offer is Daphnis 26. So this is just east of Whiterun and the Voltheim Towers. You go down the waterfall a little bit, and then there's like a pathway that leads around it. This is like a player home that is built into the side of a rock, and on the inside, I mean, it's stunning. You've got a massive statue right as you enter. You have a fox wandering about, so you get your own pet fox. I mean, and you can't do anything with it. I mean, you can kill it if you want, but that's sick. There's water, and there's kind of like waterfalls inside it. There's a beautiful bed, there's plant life growing everywhere, which you can collect the herbs. You have your own like hot spring inside your home. It's also got all the different type of forges, tanning racks, all the things you need, all the workstations that you need, loads of racks for displaying weapons and armour, loads of racks for displaying books, loads of storage. It's just, I mean, it's beautiful. And then you can climb on top and it will lift you all the way up to the top of the mountain, and you just have this amazing view over all of Skyrim. It's just your own little player home. I'm not sure if you can send your spouse or your child there. I'm pretty sure you can, which is unfortunate because I would love to make this my main player house. It's so secluded, it's so away from everything. It feels safe compared to a lot of other player homes. That's one of the things I didn't like with Hearthfire, is your homes are pretty much subject to attack, and you have to install other mods to make them safe. But this one, because it's internal cell completely, it's just two doors technically, one up top, one down the bottom. It's just so safe. You're not going to get attacked here. You've got all this storage, a lot more storage than you would do if it was, you know, one of the actual vanilla player homes. I love it so much. Fortunately, it can't be my primary player house because, you know, I'm married and I have a child in it. So my main player home right now is in Solitude, also because I'm following the Imperial line just now. My character's a Breton, but it would kind of make more sense if a Breton joined the Imperials because the Stormcloaks are all racists and they hate other races. So that's where I live just now, which I don't particularly like, but it's the only kind of player home you've got where your spouse doesn't complain. I'm also married to the guy who runs the bar in Solitude, so I thought, well, it'd probably make sense if he lived there. And the child I adopted was the one that lived in the stables just outside of Solitude, so Solitude does kind of make sense to live in. I mean, it's a stunning player home, it's massive, but I still kind of like Hujurim, or whatever the hell it's pronounced, the one that's in Winterholm? No, I forgot the name of it now. The one where the Stormcloaks live. I don't like the city, I like the house. I had a mod that made it so pretty on my first playthrough. I did live there when I was married to Ayla the Huntress. I can't get the game to load now, which sucks, but good memories. My 2 daughters, my wife. Oh well, enough reminiscing. So that is it for today. Here are the mods. Again, big, massive shout out to Arthmore. Keep like saving us when it comes to all these pains in the backside that is Bethesda and helping us out. And I hope you enjoyed this. I will be making more podcasts, more about Skyrim, more about the lore, more about mods. If you guys want to hear any mods featured, want any more reviews, if you hate what I've just done, if you love what I've just done and want to hear more, you can add me on Steam if you want. I am Jenny182. Hit me up if you want to follow me there and send me abuse, send me love, whatever you want. I will answer questions, I will take your criticism, take your compliments. If there's any more games you want me to talk about, I will be doing games in the future such as Fallout 4 because I love Fallout 4. Probably going to look into Bioshock Infinite at points. I'm also going to be reviewing some, just a couple of dumb games like Animal Crossing and Harvest Moon just because I love them and they're some of my favourite games of absolute all time. I've been Jennifer, you've been you, this has been Game On. Keep gaming, guys.